Pleasant Valley competes in 2A Region 6. The head coach of the Raiders is Jonathan Nix. Today, Coach Nix has brought with him running back / wide receiver Holt Bentley and linebacker Samuel Duncan. Coach Nix, we will start with your opening comments, please, sir.
I'd just like to start with just to thank y'all for hosting this event. I know this is year 5, and the players, coaches, and everybody look forward to this time of year because, after this, the real practices get to start and then the game's that much closer. So just excited to be here to brag on our school and our football program and everything that we've been doing with these players and how these players have been leading the right way and, kind of how it started from week 10 after the Weaver game, how a group of seniors got together and just everything is going a different direction, I feel like. Just real excited.
All right, we'll start with questions and remind the players and the coach to speak into the microphone so the people watching the live stream can pick it up. Joe Medley, we'll start with you.
Jonathan, can you just give us a breakdown of what you have returning and kind of who you expect to step into roles where you lost people?
Definitely. So excited about up front. We might possibly have some kids up front that started 10 ball games that will not start week 1. So depth is a good thing up front, especially on D-line. On O-line, we have four out of 5 offensive linemen back. So we're rotating in 3 guys right now that are kind of battling for that one tackle position. So, and that's a good thing for us because normally, you're real excited about your ones, but then sometimes you can get in trouble with your depth. And I think last year was a big deal with that. We had some key seniors that one of them came back for 4 ball games and one of them came back for 3 ball games where they got hurt either in spring or at a JSU camp in the summer. And, one of them came back 3 games and had, 30-something tackles in 3 games. But the games that he was out, we had younger kids that were stepping in those roles. So those kids got 7 games under their belt last year. And so just real excited about both sides, about the returning starters that we do have. Which we had some really good senior leadership last year, but there was also some underclassmen that really led. And so this year we only have 6 seniors, but the 6 seniors are all leading the correct way. And so we're still a relatively young team, but the energy right now, as far as competition-wise, is the best I've seen since I've been there.
We got a question here for Holt and Samuel right here in the middle. Talk a little bit about leadership. Obviously, you guys being here today means that you're, in your coach's eyes, leaders. And talk about, do you lead by mainly example, or are you a vocal leader when it comes to encouraging your teammates to be there for every single summer workout when you know some of them maybe are not and they're supposed to be? Talk about how hard that is sometimes when you have to approach friends about stepping up. Start with you, Samuel.
Well, it's an experience. I'm definitely, you asked if we were example or vocal. My first few years, I started in 10th grade playing varsity football. I started on D-line and definitely
lead by example?
Yes, sir. I see a few players now, look up to me. It's like, man, I want to be like that. Don't run the mouth. There's no point in that. So do what your job is, and that'll show other people.
That's a good response. What about you, Holt?
Coming into this, this is only my 2nd year. Last year's my 1st year, and I had some good leadership to look up to last year. And I'd like to lead by example and to lead in general. But coming into it, our quarterback, Braxton Saucer, he helped me out a lot last year with everything. And that helped me lead by example this year, just teaching me knowledge-wise. Everything he knows is really, really above level.
Okay, Coach, talk about why these 2 are with you today.
Yeah, and one thing that I see that's different on leadership is each year, and especially this group, these kids really get pure joy out of seeing another teammate on their team do good. And sometimes that's a hard deal, especially when you're sitting here competing for a starting spot and your teammate's doing better than you, and you see that, hey, he's doing better than me, he might take my spot. Well, they're not getting mad they're getting competitive with it, and there's a difference of that. And so that's, to me, is what I've seen the biggest difference of how our team's growing. And, kind of the reason that I brought Samuel, Samuel led our defense last year in tackles. I think he had around 110 tackles. But as soon as the season was over, Samuel and Coach Preston sat down, and they did all their missed tackles. And he figured out, hey, I'd have had somewhere around 150 tackles if I could have just wrapped up, if I could have just finished. So he didn't look at what he did good. He looked at what he needs to improve on. He said, I want to develop a plan where I'm not missing these tackles. What was the reason for me missing this tackle? And now how can I take that and improve with it next year? And Samuel's done that. So I look forward to him to be around the ball every snap. Holt Bentley, Holt, this is only his second year playing, and Holt, I picked him just for pure work ethic. Early in the season, Braxton Salster, we had an 8th grade quarterback that started 10 ball games. Every week that kid got better. He is one of there's 2 kids that our team, we just got through a team camp this past week, and that was 36 hours together. And at the end of it, we asked the kids, who's the 2 toughest kids on our team? Whether it's mental or whether it's physical, but you define toughness, and there's no right or wrong. And I thought it was neat that the team rallied around 2 kids that they say that these are our 2 toughest kids. And one of them was Braxton Salster, and the other was Gray Knight. But Braxton and Holt started week 2 after practice each day throwing routes. When practice was over and everybody's walking in, we have one coach that stays on the field that we rotate, and you don't come off the field till every kid comes off the field. And Holt and Braxton will be the last 2 up there throwing pass routes to each other. Well, the Gaston game got down to the wire at the end of the game where we're in a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10 situation, and if we don't convert this, we possibly lose the game because there's only like 2 minutes or so. Braxton rolls out, and guess who he connects with? Holt. Holt has to adjust to make that catch, but to me, that's a great example of sometimes the fight is won way before the lights are turned on. So all those weeks in a row of those kids staying up there paid off. And so to me, that's what gets me excited as a coach, is seeing a kid work hard when it's their free time. I mean, they could have easily went in that locker room, got dressed, and be one of the first ones to leave. But what it started was Braxton and Holt staying. And then next week, it was this one staying. Next week, Samuel's got a crew up there doing some extra tackling. So to me, that defines it, because nowadays there's so many things that's trying to steal these kids' time. And so if you can get them devoted to their teammate and you can get them devoted to doing extra, then you're way ahead of the game.
Well said. Question, Joe?
Jonathan, are those new helmets this year, new look, and kind of what's the inspiration for that?
Oh, really excited about the helmets, and the kids are excited about it. And so to start with, we just wanted a little change, and so we tried to go back and we pulled up the annual from the time that the school started. And so there's a lot of times that you can get in controversy about, hey, what's the school's colors, what's this and that. But there's one thing that's common, is PV. Everybody knows Pleasant Valley is PV. And so we wanted that to be the staple on the side, because nobody argues about the PV. Okay, you might have some that come through that their primary color was red. Some that come through, their primary color was a Columbia blue. But we wanted to try to make, and it's hard, just like Saban said, if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. And we're not trying to make everybody happy, but this right here is everything that Pleasant Valley's about. We went with a red face mask for more of a branding process. When that helmet hits somebody, we want it to mean something. And so the kids kind of got into this, and we met together as a whole, and just real excited about the helmet.
Coach, you lost 2 games by 1 possession to 2 playoff teams in your region. Just talk about this region this year and how Pleasant Valley can finally get over the hump and get in the playoffs.
Yeah, appreciate you bringing that up. We talked about that on the way down, and the thing about these 2 leaders here is they're not looking at the games they won last year. They look at the games that they lost, and I can tell when there's a good leader when one of them says, "You know what, Coach? We had 8 opportunities in the Locust Fork ball game to finish that game, and that's what we got to sell to the team." How do we make the most of our opportunities and finish? And, in the Southeastern's the other one I'm sure you're talking about, and then Spring Garden was 1 possession. But the Southeastern game, they come in 8-0, and we lose 7-0, and we had every opportunity in the world on that right there to finish, but just couldn't finish. And so I do think that the ability to finish things is hard to teach nowadays. And so the kids are doing better and better with that. Like the ability to finish through that little 2-day camp that we just had. They checked in Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock, and they did not finish until Wednesday afternoon at 6. Each accountability team was given a schedule. We didn't say you had to be at this point at this time. It was up to the players to lead to get each one of them that. We had 2 different practices. We had an OTA with White Plains and Ohatchee. We went to the aquatic center for a swimming workout, and then they had to come back after that and finish with their last practice. So I think that we're trying everything we can to make sure that the kids are able to finish. And they did a good job with it.
Final question down front here.
This is for the 2 players. What do you think that there's something this year that y'all have acquired or improved that you think that will take you to the next level that y'all didn't have from last year?
I think leadership. Last year's group of seniors that came through, Zeke Curvin, Zane Cash, Dalton Haynes, Dason Vick, Luke Kramer, they really showed us how to lead and step up. So I think that's going to bump off to our crew that is now seniors and make us have to step up and lead.
I mean, I think coming back into this, we didn't lose a whole lot. We have a whole lot of starters coming in and a whole lot of good prospects coming in. And coming into it, I mean, we all kind of know what we're doing now, all have an idea of what we're doing and how to get the job done. And if we can just get that narrowed down, we'll have a lot more wins this year.
All right, we're excited about the PV, Pleasant Valley Raiders, this fall, playing in that 2A region. Coach, give us your final thoughts as we close it out with you.
Yeah, I just love Samuel's answer, how he talked about senior leadership from last year. There's been so many teams or so many kids that I brought that they might want to take a shot at last year's seniors. And I think that says a lot about these 2 kids, that they want to brag on last year's seniors and how they led the right way. So it's all a building block process. And so that to me says that these 2 kids care about the people around them as much as they do themselves. And so I think the more that we have that, we have a tight-knit coaching staff. For the first time since I've been there, we're getting to retain coaches, and it's the same staff back to back. We do have a couple of new coaches on staff with Coach Preston being gone. But, you know, the great thing about this one with Coach Preston being gone on military leave is it's in Huntsville. So he'll still be able to be there every Friday night and on Sunday breakdowns. And so just the kids seeing that the coaches are close, we hang out outside of football, that bleeds into our players being close too. And so the more unity that you're pouring in, the more results that'll come. So just excited about this team. Can't wait to get started and appreciate you guys for everything y'all do. I know this is year 5 and each year it gets better and better. And I just appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to brag on our school.
Very good. Coach Nix, you and those players enjoyed lunch on us, and we're so thankful you came and joined us today. Good luck this fall.